In today's story, a woman stands up for her rights when a man demands she give up her seat on a flight for his daughter. What starts as a tense confrontation quickly turns into a powerful lesson in respect, courage, and self-empowerment. Watch as a flight attendant steps in to defuse the situation and see how Olivia refuses to back down. It's a busy summer day in 2025 at Miami International Airport. The heat is suffocating, the terminal is buzzing with passengers, and the scent of jet fuel is thick in the air. The flight to New York is about to board, and the passengers are rushing to find their seats. Amidst all this chaos, Olivia Brown, 30, steps into her assigned seat at 14B. She's looking forward to a few hours of peace, her novel in hand and her noise-canceling headphones on. Olivia, a marketing consultant, is a pro at juggling her career and personal life. This flight is her escape from a stressful work week, and she's hoping for nothing more than some quiet time before an important meeting in New York. She's ready to sink into her seat and shut out the noise of the world around her. But as the boarding process continues, she senses a figure standing in the aisle. It's a man about 40, wearing a sleek suit and holding the hand of a nervous-looking little girl. The man's eyes lock onto hers, and without so much as a greeting, he speaks. "Excuse me, but I need you to move. My daughter is terrified of flying and needs the window seat." Olivia blinks, her brow furrowing. This isn't a request, it's an order. She looks at the little girl, clutching a stuffed animal, her eyes wide with fear. But Olivia knows she has paid extra for this seat. The view, the peace, it was worth the additional $40. "I'm sorry, but I paid for this seat," Olivia replies, her voice calm but firm. The man, David Wilson, a frequent flyer, scoffs. His eyes narrow as he gestures to the empty seat beside her. "My daughter needs the window. She gets really anxious, and I'm sure you can understand that." Olivia holds her ground. She paid for the seat, and she's not about to give it up. She repeats, slightly firmer this time. "I paid for this seat. I'm sorry, but I can't move." David Wilson's face flushes with frustration. His hand tightens around his daughter's, and his voice rises as he tries to force Olivia to comply. "Unbelievable," he mutters under his breath, looking around the cabin as if expecting support from the other passengers. "You're really going to make a little girl suffer because you're too selfish to give up your seat?" Olivia feels her stomach tighten, the pressure building. She's no stranger to being made to feel guilty for standing her ground. But this time it's different. Just as the tension in the aisle begins to rise, a voice cuts through the air, steady and authoritative. "Is there a problem here?" A flight attendant, Jessica Carter, strides down the aisle with an air of professionalism. She looks from David to Olivia and then back again. David immediately turns to her, arms crossed in front of his chest. "Yes, this woman refuses to give up her seat for my daughter. She needs the window, and I'm asking for a simple courtesy." Jessica raises an eyebrow, her expression unchanged. "You booked this seat?" she asks Olivia, as if the answer is obvious. Olivia nods firmly. "Yes, I did. And I paid for it." Jessica turns back to David, her stance unshaken. "Sir, this woman has the right to her seat. If you want a window seat for your daughter, you should have booked it." David scoffs, looking incredulous. "I'm a loyal customer of this airline. Surely that counts for something, right?" Jessica's patience begins to wear thin, but her tone remains calm. "Customer loyalty doesn't mean overriding someone else's paid seat. If you'd like, I can check for another seat for your daughter, but this seat is hers." David's frustration is mounting. He tries to manipulate the situation, raising his voice so others can hear. This is exactly what's wrong with society today. No decency, no respect for children. Olivia feels the eyes of the passengers on her, the weight of the judgment creeping in, but she refuses to give in. Just as the tension reaches its peak, a man from the back of the cabin stands up, his voice firm. "She's right. If you wanted a window seat, you should have booked it." Jessica steps closer to David, her voice low and steady. "Sir, I'm asking you one last time. Take your seat or I'll have to escort you off the plane." David's face twists in anger, but he knows he's losing ground. His shoulders tense as he glares at Olivia, the frustration evident in his eyes. "Unbelievable," he mutters again, but this time it's louder. "You're really going to make my daughter suffer for your selfishness?" Olivia stands her ground, her voice steady. I'm not the one causing this situation. I paid for this seat and I'm not going to give it up. The cabin begins to hum with tension. Passengers glance at each other, some whispering, others pretending not to notice. The situation is escalating, and the eyes of the whole cabin are now on Olivia and David. Jessica doesn't flinch. She steps forward, her authority clear as day. I'm giving you one last chance to take your seat and stop disturbing other passengers. Or we can handle this situation with the captain's help. David hesitates, his pride on the line. He looks around the cabin once more, but no one seems to be on his side. His expression falters, the realization sinking in that he is losing control. This is ridiculous, he finally snaps, throwing his hands up in frustration. He turns to Olivia one last time. I would never want my daughter to be near someone like you. The words cut deep, but Olivia remains composed. Her eyes narrow, not in anger, but in a quiet strength. That's your choice, but I'll be staying in my seat. Jessica, now standing right next to David, doesn't let his words faze her. You're going to have to leave, sir. If you don't, we'll have to involve airport security. The cabin falls silent, the tension so thick it's almost palpable. David looks around one more time, and this time, the weight of his actions hits him. With a muttered curse, he turns on his heel, dragging his daughter with him. The other passengers, who had been silent observers, now release their breath, some exchanging quiet looks of relief. Jessica and Olivia exchange a glance, a silent understanding between them. Thank you, Olivia says quietly. You handled that perfectly. Jessica nods, her expression softening. It's my job, but you held your ground. That's the real victory here. The rest of the flight continues without incident, but Olivia feels a sense of empowerment. She didn't back down, and for the first time in a long while, she feels proud of standing up for herself. The flight finally begins its descent towards Dallas. Olivia leans back in her seat, her body relaxing for the first time since the incident. She glances out of the window, the sprawling city below fading into the horizon. She thinks back to the confrontation. It was more than just a seat. It was about respect, standing up for herself, and not letting someone else dictate her worth. The captain's voice comes through the intercom, announcing their final approach. Olivia's heart rate slows as the tension from the earlier encounter slowly ebbs away. Ladies and gentlemen, we're beginning our descent into Dallas. Please fasten your seatbelts and prepare for landing. As the plane touches down, Olivia feels a sense of relief. The ordeal is over, but she knows that the feeling of empowerment will stay with her long after the flight. As she exits the plane, she catches Jessica's eye again. The flight attendant gives her a small, approving nod, a silent acknowledgement of the support they gave each other. On the jet bridge, Olivia feels a tap on her shoulder. Turning around, she sees the man in the green hoodie from earlier. Hey, I just wanted to say, I respect how you handled that situation, he says with a grin. It takes a lot of courage to stand up like that. Olivia smiles, feeling a warmth spread through her. Thanks. I guess sometimes you just have to stand your ground, right? Exactly, he nods. People like that guy, they think they can push others around, but not everyone will let them. Good for you. Olivia chuckles lightly, feeling a sense of camaraderie. Well, it helps to have a little backup, right? She says, looking back towards Jessica. The man nods and gives a thumbs up. You handled it well. Take care, and good luck with your pitch tomorrow. Olivia watches as he disappears into the crowd. Her heart feels light, knowing she made the right choice, standing up for herself and her rights. As she walks towards the terminal, the events of the day feel like a distant memory. She takes a deep breath, ready to face the next challenge that awaits her. Olivia steps out of the terminal, her steps light but purposeful. The airport is buzzing with activity, but in her mind, it feels quieter now. She's no longer weighed down by the tension that had clung to her during the flight. As she heads towards the taxi stand, she receives a message on her phone. It's a reminder about her client pitch tomorrow, but this time, she feels different. More prepared, more confident. The events of the flight replay in her mind, but now they don't feel like a burden. They feel like a victory, a small but important reminder that standing up for herself is never a mistake. She arrives at her hotel, checks in, and makes her way up to her room. The elevator dings as it arrives at her floor, and she steps out into the quiet hallway. Olivia drops her bag on the bed and takes a moment to herself. She looks out of the window, the skyline of Dallas stretching before her. For a brief moment, she allows herself to breathe, to reflect on the past few hours, the confrontation, the emotions, the weight of standing her ground. It all led to this. She smiles softly, her reflection in the glass showing a woman who is no longer afraid to take up space in the world. The phone rings, breaking her thoughts. It's her colleague Amanda, calling to check in before tomorrow's presentation. "Hey, Olivia, just wanted to make sure you're all set for tomorrow. You ready for the pitch?" Amanda's voice is upbeat, filled with energy. Olivia chuckles, her mood lighter than it's been in days. "Yeah, I'm ready. And actually, I'm feeling pretty good about it." "That's great to hear. I'm sure you'll nail it." Amanda pauses for a moment, then adds, "Oh, and by the way, I heard what happened on the plane. Seriously, you handled it like a pro." Olivia smiles, feeling the warmth of her friend's praise. "Thanks, Amanda. It wasn't easy, but I'm glad I stuck to my guns." Amanda laughs. "That's the spirit. Anyway, I'll let you get some rest. Big day tomorrow, right?" "Yeah, definitely. Thanks for checking in. I'll see you tomorrow." Olivia hangs up, feeling a renewed sense of determination. She turns off her phone, sets it on the nightstand, and prepares for bed. As she pulls the covers up, she allows herself one final moment of reflection. The road ahead is still uncertain, but Olivia knows she's ready for whatever comes next. She's strong, she's resilient, and most importantly, she's learned that standing firm in the face of adversity is the key to true success. With a deep breath, she drifts off to sleep, her mind at ease, knowing that she's on the right path.